Fit in 10 Nation, it is day 67. And there's still a lot of you who have not booked your scan. And probably if you haven't booked your scan, you're probably not watching the videos. So there's probably no point in me saying this. But if you are watching this video and you have not booked your scan, please do so. It was in your last macro email, the link. The link again is www.calendly.com/train on main. Okay, Calendly is spelled CALENDLY. Okay, .com/train on main. Train on main, all one word, of course. You can't have spaces in a URL. Also, for your scan is coming up so fast. For your scan, please make sure that you come to the meeting with no metals on your body. 0 metals. Okay, so that means no necklaces, no rings of any sorts, like nose rings, earrings, belly button rings, ankle bracelets, arm bracelets, etc. Okay, nothing. No metal on your clothes, zippers, no metal in your bra. Okay, do not drink alcohol. Hopefully you're not drinking alcohol regardless, but no drinking alcohol within 24 hours of the scan. No caffeine within 12 hours of the scan. You can eat, but please try to make sure it's like at least 4 hours out. You can drink non-caffeinated beverages before you come in. Try to get a good night's sleep. No heavy creams on your hands. And I can't remember if I already said this, but try to use a washroom before you come in, okay? What else did I want to say? There's something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, after photos. Let's not forget about this. You have after photos to do, so please try to wear something that, try to actually wear the same outfit that you wore for your before photos, right? Because then we have like an accurate, we have a fully accurate difference between your before and after photos, right? Same lighting, same room, etc. Okay. All right, question here. What are your thoughts on Stevia, Splenda, monk fruit? Okay. In general, a lot of people seem to be more comfortable having stevia or monk fruit because these are, quote, natural extracts, which really doesn't mean anything. But they are extracted from these sources of plants. Stevia is a leaf, monk is a fruit. It's like a small melon. And are these any better than, say, for your health, that is? Are these any better for your health when compared to things like Splenda and aspartame? So, let's get into it. So, let's just quickly talk about this. So, Splenda, let's talk about the artificial sweeteners. Splenda is basically 95% dextrose and maltodextrin. Those are just 2 sugars. The other 5% is a slightly modified a chemical of sucrose. Okay, so if anybody has any organic chemistry out there, they're basically taking the 3-hydroxyl groups and they're just replacing it with chlorine, if that means anything to you, okay? And that's essentially, that is Splenda. Okay. What's the real name for Splenda? What's the common name for it? Why am I drawing a blank? I should have written it down. Anyways, doesn't matter. You guys know what Splenda is. Or you probably know what Splenda is. I'm assuming you do. Aspartame. Again, aspartame is actually just 2 amino acids that are put together. Again, there's a slight, I think the 2 amino acids are phenolphthalein and aspartic acid. So those are just amino acids that you eat. They're in your diet every day. These 2 are peptides, so they're actually a protein. But then there is a slight chemical change to it, where there is a methyl. Basically, it's just it's got a methyl ester group. Okay, if that means anything to you. So now you might. So I just say, oh yeah, you just replace this with this, no big deal. Now, obviously, if you do little changes to chemicals, they can become completely different and have a completely different reaction in the body. So I don't want to make it sound like it doesn't matter if you make these small changes. It does. But let's talk about whether there's any evidence of these things being unhealthy for you. Are they cancer causing? Because that's a big narrative that's been put out there. And there doesn't appear to be. There have been studies where they've shown aspartame to cause cancer in mice, but you have to also look at the study and see how much they were giving the mice. And they were giving the mice like what would be equivalent to like 10,000 times what we would normally have in a day. Okay, so if you have 10,000 times the amount of water, I can guarantee you will die, okay? If you have one aspirin as opposed to a bottle of aspirin, okay, how many aspirins in a bottle? 250? So you have like, let's just say, you have 250 aspirins, okay? You probably wouldn't even need that many to die. You probably have about 30 or 40, you're probably gonna die, okay? So again, we have to look at the dosage. Whenever you look at something as being poisonous or not, really what we're talking about here is the dosage and then the chronicity, right? So how much are you having, and then how often are you having it, right? I mean, is alcohol bad? Well, I think it's bad. I mean, I think it's definitely a lot worse than what we're led to believe that it is. But listen, if you're having a little bit of alcohol here and there, I don't think it's gonna, really do anything. But if you're having it every day in larger quantities, then we certainly know that that's not going to be good for you, right? So again, we have to look at the dosage and the chronicity, right? How often are you having it? So when it comes to having, any of these sweeteners, by the way, okay? If we look at monk fruit or stevia, these are somewhere around 150 to 200. Well, monk fruit's around 150 to 200 times sweeter than regular sugar. Stevia is even sweeter than that. 200 to 300 times. Aspartame is 200 times. Splenda, I don't know, it's probably somewhere around the same as that. So you don't need very much of it, is my point. You only need a tiny little bit of it to get a huge sweetness produced. So I'm pretty sure that having a little bit, even every day, is probably totally fine. I know aspartame and Splenda have been, or I know at least aspartame, and I'm sure Splenda's had the same kind of rigorous investigations on it, but there's been over 100 agencies in the States. Sorry, I don't know if it was in the States. There's been over 100 agencies, it's probably worldwide, that have looked at the dangers of aspartame, and there's no evidence of it being dangerous for human consumption. Okay, now, like I said, if you overindulge in anything, there can be a toxicity with it, right? There can be a toxicity, with water, right? So, just, if you're using a little bit, I don't see any issue with it, okay? Okay, next question. If you are iron deficient, well, what was the question exactly? Let's pull up the question exactly. The question was, or is, the question is this: iron deficiency and resistance training. I take a very good supplement, but is there anything else I can do besides protein to keep my iron stores up? I think you probably mean red meat, right? Red meat is really the highest, most bioavailable form of iron. But yes, there are many other things you can do. You can get vegetable sources of it, but it's a little bit less bioavailable. But if you have things like, what you want to make sure that you do when you're having iron in general is to make sure you have enough vitamin C, because vitamin C helps with the absorption of iron. You also want to avoid things like having too much fiber. That's usually not a problem people have. Most people don't get enough fiber. But if you happen to have too much fiber, that can basically allow iron not to be absorbed. It'll cause iron basically to run right through you. There are certain foods, I didn't really want to talk about it though. There are certain foods that can that are known to get in the way of iron absorption. But again, this is something where we just have to keep a balance, right? Because I don't think we should be avoiding certain foods that are just completely healthy and have other nutritional benefits. So, but there are certain foods that can or have been known to. But I think, again, it's just having those foods in moderation. Moderation is always is really a key factor here when we're talking about really anything when it comes to your health. This is a supplement that I would recommend, and maybe you're using it, I don't know, but it's Floridix formula. And that is a super bioavailable form of iron. Okay, Floridix is a liquid that you take. It's been around for a long time. Holy Jesus, I'm at 11 minutes? Okay, I guess I got to the message of the day. And the message of the day is this, and I want to really emphasize this. Planning supports persistency. Planning supports persistency, and habits result. Sorry, I read that wrong. Planning supports consistency, and habits result in persistency. Okay, planning supports consistency. You got to plan, and then habits result in persistency. You cannot rely on inspiration or motivation. Those are things that are really, you're just not going to walk around 24/7 feeling inspired or motivated. Those are really things that can, at points of weakness, maybe you can look towards, can help you to remain in the action of planning and supporting your habits. But usually once you have a habit down, once it's ingrained, and I think there's something like a 21-day rule here or something, I don't know. But I think we can all agree that if you do something enough day in, day out, eventually it does seem to become easier. It does seem to become easier, okay? Going to work is kind of one of those things, okay? You don't really decide that whether you're going to go into work or not on a daily basis. You just kind of get up and go and you do it. So, like anything, like what we're doing right now, it has to be lifestyle based. It has to be consistent, right? It has to be reasonable and consistent. It can't be unreasonable, because then it can't be consistent, right? So think about planning and think about habits, right? Same stuff I said way back in the beginning of this. All right, positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. And I'll talk to you guys all very soon. What a long video. I'm still trying to figure out classes, by the way, which probably don't care by now because the challenge is ending. But hopefully you're going to stick around and continue, right? That's what we want. We want to keep you here, and we want to help you, okay? We'll talk to you guys all very soon. See ya.